Hey, this is Brittney at your favorite SaaS SEO agency, Linkflow. And today we are talking about content marketing, specifically B2B SaaS content marketing. These sorts of recommendations can also apply to B2C companies. So we're going to cover kind of two main areas. And first, that is creating the correct content for your audience. And number two is distributing it. In terms of how to create the best content, we're going to pretend that we are an HR software company, specifically HR software that is designed to improve employee retention. In this instance, we need to first define our personas. So we probably have a couple different ones, but the main ones are going to be HR leadership that maybe work at a company that either has issues with retention or they have a retention goal. These are probably people who are mid to higher level at their company. They're not associates. They're probably a manager, or even maybe if there's a C-suite level of people leadership, you could be speaking to them as well. We need to define our personas and think about, what do these types of people prioritize? What are their pain points? What are they worried about? What's their day-to-day like? So you know how to get in front of them and how to speak their language. Personas are part one of creating the right kind of content. Number two is going to be creating content for the full funnel. You want to be able to reach that HR professional at every stage that they might be in, because you never know where they are when they stumble upon your name. You want to create awareness stage content, like what is talking about just employee retention as a whole. Maybe you could cover a topic on average employee retention rates, or how to calculate your employee retention rate, etc. That's that sort of awareness. You're just bringing people in, getting them to see your business for the first time, hopefully remember your brand name and start trusting you. The second piece of content is going to be in the middle of the funnel, where they're starting to get a little more specific about what they're looking for. They probably aren't ready to make a purchase yet, but you want to inform them of some things that might nudge them in the direction of making a purchase from you. So perhaps like how to avoid pitfalls with HR employee retention software. So you're trying to teach them the more of the nuances and get them more to your level of communicating about your HR software. They've already learned the basics, and now they need to understand some of the specifics about what you exactly do and why they might want you. The bottom of the funnel content that you want to create around this same topic is probably going to be comparing yourself to other options out there. So you can do this in multiple ways. If you have one-to-one competitors that are employee retention software just like you, comparing your two services, including pricing, is a great way to gain trust and hopefully win that purchase. You could also compare employee retention software to something adjacent. Why would this HR professional choose specifically employee retention software rather than maybe employee recognition software with the same goal of improving retention? So that's another way of convincing people that your solution is the right solution for them. And then finally, the third piece of making the right content is intent matching. So on your website, you likely have quite a few pages on your site, and then you likely have some sort of content strategy like a blog or a video series or whatever it is for you. So when we think about creating content as an SEO, I always think about keywords first. So for each of those three examples that I gave, there's going to be keywords attached to those pieces of content. One might be improving employee retention. One might be best employee retention software. That's that bottom of the funnel. And there might be something like just employee retention software. Now, all of these different keywords have what we call intent behind them, what the searcher is trying to achieve when they type that in. Google tries to read their minds and provide results that match that intent, which means we also have to read their minds and provide the intent that lines up with what Google thinks it is. That's complicated a little bit, but we as SEOs typically break it into two buckets. We have sort of informational intent. That's usually your content where you're going to talk at length about something. And then you have commercial intent, which is usually like your product or solutions page. And that's designed to make people make a decision and purchase from you. I would say a majority of your pages on your website and a majority of your keywords you're going to rank for are going to fall into the informational intent, even if you don't want them to. Like that HR retention software or employee retention software keyword very likely has an informational intent behind it, because the people are looking for an in-depth piece of content that will explain to them what that software is and does, or compares different versions of that type of software so they can make a purchase decision. They aren't looking for your product landing page. And if you try to optimize your product landing page around those keywords, you'll end up not ranking, or a different page on your site will end up ranking because it's a closer match to intent. So that's what I mean by creating the content around intent. Start with a keyword, understand the intent behind it, and then create pages and content. Don't try to do it the other way around, creating your content first and trying to cram a keyword onto it. Okay. So that was all creating the right content. We start with personas, then we think about funnels, and then we make sure we're matching the right intent. The next thing is less on the SEO side of things and more general marketing, and that's how to repurpose it. Anytime you create a piece of content, you should be thinking ahead and considering how you're going to deliver that content to different people in different places, because not everyone is going to search those keywords and land on your website. And also not everyone is going to see your social media posts. Not everyone is going to watch your YouTube. But if you are covering all of those different areas, then you are likely to actually get all of those different people. Creating a blog or a case study or a white paper, something that's long form and probably has 2,000 words plus of content in it, you can always break that into little pieces. Some of our longer blog posts, I like to break into 3 sections and then post each one individually as like a long form LinkedIn post with its own graphics. Or just like I'm doing right now, we already have this blog on SaaS content marketing, and now I'm adding video content to it to support it by just like reiterating what was in the blog. I highly suggest doing this for every single one of your higher performing blogs. It can absolutely help you go up in ratings, and people just like video. So make more videos. And then in terms of other things, like if you create that video, you can then clip that into 15 to 30 second segments and release those as social media posts as well. So now I have this one 2,000 word blog. So I have the blog. I have the ability to create probably 6 or so different, unique, valuable social media posts that I can publish on any of those platforms. If I created the video for it, I then have doubled that and can start posting on TikTok, etc., Instagram Reels. And I also probably am reaching people on YouTube, which we all know is the second largest search engine in the world. And if you're creating video content and not putting it on YouTube, you're absolutely not taking advantage of a huge opportunity. So basically, create the right content by thinking about personas, funnels, and intents, and then redistribute it in as many possible ways as you can so that you get the most value out of your single piece of content and so that you reach people in all of the different places where they might be online. Okay, I hope you learned something and that I didn't ramble on too long. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next time.